Welcome back, everyone. If you enjoy today's message and story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I appreciate every single one of you. Let us dive into the message of the day for day 64 of 2026. Here it is. Sometimes, what you ignore ends up teaching you the biggest lesson. Think about that for a moment. We all have those little things we brush off. A strange noise in the house, a weird feeling about a situation, a tiny detail that just seems off. We tell ourselves it's nothing, that we're overthinking it. But what if that small thing you're choosing to ignore is actually a warning? What if it's the universe, or something else, trying to get your attention before it's too late? This is a story about exactly that, about what happens when you don't listen. For weeks, this person kept hearing a faint tapping sound coming from behind their bedroom wall. It wasn't a constant thing, which made it easy to dismiss. It would happen randomly, just enough to be noticeable, but not enough to be alarming. They convinced themselves it was just the house settling or the water pipes making noises. Maybe even a tree branch brushing against the siding in the wind. It was easier to ignore it than to investigate. So, they did. They went about their days, pushed the sound to the back of their mind, and tried to forget it. But some things refused to be forgotten. One night, they were lying in bed, just scrolling through their phone in the quiet of their room. The house was still, and then it started again. The tapping. But this time, it was different. It wasn't random. It was slow, deliberate, and rhythmic. Tap, tap. The sound seemed to drill right into their ears, impossible to ignore. A cold dread began to creep up their spine. And then, something else happened. A voice. It was faint, barely a whisper, but it was clear, and it seemed to come directly through the wall. It said, "Why didn't you listen?" They were completely frozen, phone forgotten in their hand. Every muscle in their body screamed at them to run, but they couldn't move. After what felt like an eternity, they managed to grab their phone and turn on the flashlight, aiming the shaky beam of light at the corner of the room where the sound had come from. Their heart hammered against their ribs. The wallpaper, which had been perfectly smooth before, was now torn in a small section. It was just a little rip, but it looked like something had been trying to push its way through from the other side. They stared at it, unable to look away, until the sun started to rise. By morning, the tapping had stopped. The house was silent again. The chilling whisper was gone, but the fear remained. Driven by a terrible curiosity, they finally decided to see what was on the other side. They went into the adjoining room, carefully cut away a section of the drywall right where the tapping had been loudest, and peered into the dark space between the walls. There, scratched deep into the wooden studs, were 4 words that would haunt them forever. You should have listened. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.